Hey Go Kids! What is your favorite vegetable? Probably my very favorite vegetable is green snow snap peas. I love their texture, I love the freshness, I love their sweetness. They are just so good to me. Well, this last week we learned how Daniel and his friends chose to serve God by choosing vegetables. Daniel and his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, all were brought from the land of Judah, but they were held in the king's palace, King Nebuchadnezzar's palace. His goal was to bring in some royal, influential, smart, intelligent, handsome young men to be influencers of the Babylonian culture in the land of Judah. Now, God's chosen people, the Israelites, lived in the land of Judah. And Daniel and his friends had been taught about the one true God and how to live and respect the law of God and his principles, God's principles. So when they got to the palace was wanting to offer them every sort of convenience and every lavished food item possible. Now the only problem with this is that the food was offered up to the idols. It was sacrificed as an offering to the idols, not the one true God. And in God's law, it said to have nothing to do with this food because it was unclean. So Daniel, it says in Daniel chapter 1 verse 8, it says, he resolved in his heart not to defile himself. That means he purposely decided not to let any impure thing touch his life. He knew that he had to keep his mind. No matter what anybody else said, no matter how good anything looked, or if everybody else was doing it, he knew that he had to purpose in his heart to stay true to God. He had to choose God. The main servant didn't want that to happen. But Daniel said, test me for 10 days and see what will happen. So they tested him. And Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah came out smarter and healthier than all of the other men who were eating all the choice foods from the king's table. Daniel chose vegetables because he was choosing to serve God first. How will you serve God first? Every day we live in a Babylonian society. We live in a society that is like, put yourself first. We live in a society where if it feels good to you, then you should do it. But that's not the way God has designed us to be. In fact, when we say yes to God, that actually means we say no to a lot of other things that could hurt our relationship with God. So, we have a decision to make every day. How will we choose to put God first? How will we choose God and not choose the world? I pray for you that you will be like Daniel and you will resolve in your heart not to defile yourself, not to give in to the gossip at your lunch table, not to think that you have to wear certain clothes to be cool, not to open your mind to stuff that sometimes comes across in movies or music or literature or whatever it may be that seems like it should be okay because everybody else is reading it or listening to it or watching it, but you know that it's wrong. I pray you'll resolve to not defile yourself. Resolve in your heart to say no. Resolve in your heart to say yes to God.